Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm MMA Tizzer and I am back from my week hiatus. I've been really busy, but I'm back, I'm refreshed, and I'm ready to make loads and loads of new MMA content. Obviously, we've got a really big week ahead of us, and I'm going to dive right into these predictions for UFC 291 in just a second. But first of all, I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for 1,000 subscribers. We finally hit it. I made this channel about 11 months ago, and to hit 1,000 subscribers so quickly, honestly, it means the world to me. So to everyone that's subscribed and anyone that supports the channel just by watching, leaving a like or commenting the video, thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, onwards and upwards, I guess. But we're not going to be doing the early prelim predictions because no one cares about them. Having said that, Matthew Semelsberger is on them and he will win by round 1 knockout. So that is my prediction for the Semelsberger fight. But we're going to skip the rest of them because who cares? No one watches the early prelims anyway. And we'll get right into it. First of all, I'm just going to say this card kind of stinky start, but then it's very stacked like the last 5 fights. So I'm not too bothered about these kind of fights being pretty bad. But we've got Jake Matthews versus Darius Flowers. Now, the pick is Jake Matthews, but it's a coin flip pick because we don't know what Jake Matthews is going to show up. We could get Floyd Mayweather striking Jake Matthews. We could get, Jimmy Crute level striking Jake Matthews. So, no confidence in this pick whatsoever. But Jake Matthews is the better fighter at his prime. If Jake Matthews' best day is better than Darius Flowers' best day. So we'll leave it at that. Jake Matthews. I'm not going to read too much into that one. Same with this one. Roman Kopylov versus Claudio Ribeiro. I mean, Kopylov has the momentum going into this. He's trash. He's a terrible middleweight, but, he has a bit of power, and he seems to be pretty lucky in fights as far as I've seen. Fights just seem to go his way. He's all right. Kind of boring. No personality. He'll never be anything, but that's the UFC for your middleweight division. Anyway, we move on. Right, okay, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty fights now. I'm actually going to give proper breakdowns. And we've got a good fight here. Derek Lewis versus Marcos Rodrigo de Lima. And the pick is de Lima because Derek Lewis is washed, okay, guys? I hate to admit it, but this guy just sucks. Like, Derek Lewis has no skill, okay? His boxing isn't good. Obviously, he can't grapple. He has a bad chin. And he has no cardio. So you look at him and think, well, how's he been winning fights? And to be honest, I know he has one-shot punch power, but he fluked a lot of the fights. The Volker fight was pretty fluky. The Curtis Blades fight was fluky. Let's be honest, right? That uppercut would have landed 1 in 10 times. So, I'm not trying to take away from Derek Lewis here, but I'm just saying, he's been exposed recently, and I know he's not as good as he used to be. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, I think. But the point is that he relies on basically getting a lucky shot, and honestly, against people that can box like de Lima, I don't think he's going to get the lucky shot, because I'm telling you, Marcos Rodrigo de Lima, he can box, and he's pretty crisp. So I just see him, basically the first big punch of this fight will be the determiner of how this plays out. And my prediction is that Marcos will land the first big punch because he's a much better boxer than slow old Derek Lewis. And then I think he'll just finish him. I think he'll crumble and he'll wilt. And he has nothing to fight for. He knows he's not going to get the belt. He only cares about the money now, and I don't even think he's too bothered about getting the win bonus. So honestly, don't be surprised to see Derek Lewis get jabbed in the face hard and just kind of give up, just kind of go to the corner, shell up, and do kind of what he did against Cyril Gane. So that kind of stuff is what I'm expecting, but we could see Derek Lewis getting flatlined because his chin is quite suspect. We move on. Gabriel Bonfim versus Trevin Giles. Now, Trevin Giles is a huge favourite here, as you can see. But honestly, bit of a coin flip. He's very, very inconsistent. He'll beat someone really a lot better than someone he's just lost to. So, I can't predict Trevin Giles. This is actually quite a difficult card to predict. But he's a huge favourite. So, I'm going to be picking Trevin Giles to beat Gabriel Bonfim. But, we just haven't seen enough of Bonfim in the UFC yet, so this will be a good test of caliber for him. So I'm going with Giles, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just absolutely messes us up, because he's kind of like the Michael Johnson of welterweight / middleweight, because, he's lost to Duplessis in other middleweight, so, some of his losses haven't aged that well either. I've looked back, and he's got some bad outs to, bad fighters. We move on. Right, now we're on the main card. These fights are good, and this is one of the best main cards in a very long time. It could be, card of the year. So we've got Michael Chiesa versus Kevin Holland, and honestly, my pick is Michael Chiesa, right? Because at the end of the day, it just boils down to, will Michael Chiesa get one takedown? Because if he gets one in round one, he can probably get one and then another in round three, in round two and three respectively. And I do think Michael Chiesa can take down Kevin Holland. And am I saying Chiesa's a good wrestler? Not really. No, he's pretty terrible. But Kevin Holland is equally terrible at defending takedowns and on the ground. Do I think Kevin Holland isn't going to give up his back? He's a BJJ black belt, but he just is bad on the ground, okay? And it just seems no matter how much he trains, he can't improve that. And, as far as I'm concerned, Michael Chiesa is probably just going to lay on top of him, try and get a decision win here. You never know, he might get knocked down in one of the rounds. Michael Chiesa on the feet is terrible. So it just depends. If Holland keeps it standing and basically stuffs one takedown, he'll win the fight by knockout. But I don't know if I can trust Holland to stuff a takedown. That's a big ask for Holland, having seen his past. Obviously, he didn't do too well against Chimaev. He did scramble well, though. So, if he gets an opportunity for those scrambles against Chiesa, I think Chiesa would lose him in there. I don't think he'd be able to keep control of him like Hamzat did. I think Hamzat's got a different level of control. And, my pick is Michael Chiesa to win this. He's the underdog here. I think he will get a takedown on Kevin Holland. So, we'll see. But obviously, if there is a takedown getting stuffed, it's curtains for Michael Chiesa because he's absolutely clueless on the feet and he'll get probably put away within within the first two rounds. We move on. Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green. Now, a lot of people have been saying, I don't know about picking Bobby Green. I'm not too sure about it. I've seen a few other prediction videos basically saying they're scared and not confident with the pick. But I'm 100% confident that Bobby Green is going to beat Tony Ferguson. Am I saying it's going to be by knockout? I'm not entirely sure because Bobby Green is a bit of a pillow puncher. It's true. And also, he's kind of weird in the fact that I feel like he wouldn't even pursue a finish. I think he's quite happy to just grind out a decision. He doesn't seem to care too much about finishing people and stuff like that. And he'll probably be speaking to Tony in the cage. So he might show him mercy or anything like that. So I wouldn't really... don't say that Bobby Green's going to finish because honestly, he might just throw a finish deliberately, just like to show mercy on Ferguson. But as far as this fight's concerned, Ferguson has no chance as far as I'm concerned. He's terrible. He's probably the worst lightweight in the roster right now. I don't think anyone loses to him. He just looks so bad on the feet against Diaz. Didn't even look good on the ground. He got subbed. He's like 40 now nearly. He's got distractions outside of the cage. I don't think he's training. He must have loads of injuries. His training from all them years ago has definitely caught up to him. He's been doing bad things. You can see it in the media and stuff. So I'm not sure how focused Tony Ferguson is on MMA anymore. And they're giving him a pretty solid opponent because I know the Jared Gordon fight happened and everything with Bobby Green. But Bobby Green's boxing is pretty slick, and I know people are saying he's two-dimensional, which is true. He is just completely boxing orientated. Well, at least he's good at something, because Ferguson ain't good on the ground anymore. I don't think he can sub Bobby Green. I don't think Bobby Green is going to do something stupid enough to get subbed by Ferguson now. And he's not good on the feet. So, yeah, the only way I see this going anywhere near a Ferguson win is somehow Bobby Green tries to finish him and gasses, but it's unlikely, So, Bobby Green, very confident in his pick. Smooth boxing, he'll easily outbox Ferguson. Ferguson's slow, stiff. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a finish, but I don't trust Bobby Green to go and push for a finish. He'll be happy with a decision. He's that kind of fighter, and he only has a few fights left, but he won't retire if he wins this fight, and I'm pretty sure he will. But I think this may be Ferguson's last fight in the UFC. We move on up the card. Stephen Thompson versus Mikel Pereira. And honestly, guys, a lot of people are picking Stephen Thompson, pretty big favourite here. I'm picking Mikel Pereira, okay? I know it's a bit of a long shot, but to me, he can do more. Okay, now, is Mikel Pereira a bit random and unpredictable on the feet and not in a good way? Yes, Thompson's going to have a striking advantage, but Pereira, I've seen Pereira embedded, right? The guy's cardio is looking mental. He's been running up the mountains like he's climbing Everest. It's crazy. He was on a mad one. He was outpacing all the Marines. His cardio looks really good. He's looking big. He looks way bigger than Stephen Thompson does. Stephen Thompson looks like a lightweight, Mikel Pereira looks like a middleweight. He's a big dude, looking very strong. He's very athletic. And obviously, as we've seen in his fights, we know that. And I think if he wrestles... Now, here's the thing with Mikel, okay? He's kind of like Chandler, where he throws fights to entertain the crowd. And if he does that in this fight, like Holland did when he took down Thompson and then realised I'll stand it back up, he won't win this fight. He won't win on the stand of the feet. But honestly, I think he might just take Mikel down. He might just take Thompson down and win like that. And he's strong, powerful. And obviously, I know, Stephen fought Gilbert Burns and stuff. But Mikel is bigger than Burns. I feel like Mikel is stronger than Burns. And at this point in his career, Thompson, I think he's 42 maybe. You're slower, not as strong, maybe, injuries, stuff like that. So not a lot of confidence in Stephen Thompson here, but you never know. Very switched on. He's very dangerous still. He's very quick for a 42-year-old. So I'm not going to write him off here. But I'm going with the underdog pick from Mikel Pereira. I think he can actually get a good upset win here. So that is my prediction for that fight. And this will be a good fight, okay? I'm looking forward to this one a lot. It'll definitely be one of the better ones on the card. We move on. The co-main event. Now, this isn't a title bout. A lot of people thought it would be, including me at one point. I thought there was a leak that confirmed it. But no, normal fight, 3-round fight. Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira. Now, first of all, I'm really looking forward to this fight. This is one of my most anticipated fights of the year. And it's because Alex Pereira is one of my favourite fighters. Because why not? Because the guy is mental good going forward. He's, in my opinion, the best striker ever offensively. Obviously, his biggest striking weakness, his only striking weakness, so to speak, is his striking defense is not 10 out of 10. It's kind of bad. Drops his hands frequently. When he finds the finish, he's quite open and vulnerable. Just basically sometimes what needs to watch his defense more. Saw that at the end of the first round in the Adesanya fight, and we saw it in the second fight where he got flatlined by Adesanya, which was a tough watch, shall I say. But Alex Pereira is a better striker than Jan Blachowicz, and I don't care. And I know Jan outstruck Izzy, kind of, and people were saying, oh, well, he'll do that to Pereira. No, okay? Jan is 40, okay? Jan is slow. He doesn't look in good shape. His last fight, he looked sloppy. He was getting pieced up by Teixeira, who we now know is actually a bit of a bum on the feet. And Alex Pereira is not a bum on the feet. He's the best on the feet, and I think he's gonna win the leg kick battle because Jan's last leg kick battle, he looked really good, right? But think, who was it against? Magomed Ankalaev, okay? Magomed isn't a striker. He's a grappler. And I think Alex Pereira, he's going to win the leg kick battle here early. I think he's going to win it in the first round. And I think in the second round, with sore legs, Jan's, immobile, not really doing much. And I think he's going to land probably a left hook, a big overhand, something like that. With Pereira, it's probably going to be the left hook. And just sleep Blachowicz. Blachowicz is open to left hooks. I've seen him he almost got finished by Glover with a left hook, really hurt him. Sent him basically chicken dancing all the way to the other side of the cage. And here's another thing I see about this fight. People going, wrestling, Jan's just going to wrestle, right? Mark my words, I don't think Jan's going to shoot a takedown in the first round, okay? So as long as there isn't a takedown shot and he gets it in the first round, Alex should win this. I think Alex will do enough damage on the feet in the first round to, even if Jan tries to wrestle in the second and third, he'll be fine and he'll manage to basically find a way out of it and find a finish or get a decision win here. But I don't think Jan's going to shoot in the first round. If he gets to takedown in the first round, the fight will be very different and Jan's got a very good chance of winning. But right now, I don't think Jan's going to shoot in the first round. I think that's the most important round for him to shoot in. And Pereira's takedown defense is underrated, okay? I know he got taken down by Adesanya, but he wasn't expecting it. And to be fair, Adesanya kind of didn't really take him down. He messed up his own takedown, and it resulted in him getting thrown to the ground first. So, we've seen that happen with many high-level fighters, like Charles Oliveira against Islam Makhachev, that was similar. So, I'm not even going to get started on that. I don't really count it as an Adesanya takedown, but it's a takedown nonetheless. So yeah, Alex Pereira will be the pick. I'm going for a round 2 TKO. I think he'll get this one done. And if not, I think he'll get a decision. You know, Jan's tough. He's got a good chin. But when you're fighting Pereira, it doesn't matter how good your chin is, you know. He will find it. He'll crack it. You know, the left hook is goated. The only person to survive is Bruno Silva somehow, who gets finished by literally every other fighter on the roster, which I still can't understand and never will. But that's MMA math for you. And moving on to the main event, Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. Now, I can't decide between these two, okay? Very similar, but honestly, I don't know. My pick is Dustin Poirier, okay? I'm going for round 2 TKO. And the reason being, right, because people are wondering about this, is that I want you guys to think of their last loss, okay? So Dustin Poirier's last loss was to Oliveira, right? He beat him on the feet in the first round, okay? Second round, taken down, not much happens. Then spends the majority of the round on bottom, and loses around 10-9, and didn't really take too much damage. Just got elbowed a few times, okay? And then obviously in the third round, not much striking at all. Oliveira shoots in, takes the backpacks him, subs him, okay? So you look at that in the first round, Dustin won, okay? He dropped Oliveira, he pieced him up, he didn't take too much damage, and he said it himself. He thought after that first round he was going to basically be leaving the champion that night, and I don't blame him. He did really well in the first round. He looked the better fighter. And now let's compare Oliveira's fight against Gaethje. The Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy knocked out the world-class striker. So say what you want, but that just shows it to me in itself that Dustin is levels above Gaethje. And listen, Gaethje, the way he fights just annoys me, okay? Like, there's something about the way he throws, and he stands so still. When he throws and he hits, he just doesn't move out of the way, and it worries me, okay? And in this matchup, I don't like that, because Dustin likes being in the pocket too. And honestly, I think Dustin's better in the pocket, because I think he's got better hooks, he's tighter, and I just think Justin gets sloppy sometimes, you know? But having said that, if this fight goes into the later round, because it is at altitude, and Gaethje is part of Team Elevation, who train at altitude, believe it or not, I think he'll win. But I'm relying on Dustin to get this one done. I think he'll finish it in the first. I think he's gonna get a round 2 finish, TKO. I just think he's the better fighter, and I know people are saying Gaethje has improved more since their fight. It's true, but Dustin's still Dustin. His boxing's crisp, and I just feel like if Fiziev gives you problems in the first round like that, because he was winning that fight until he gassed, I just feel like Poirier can still give you problems too, because Poirier's got better pure boxing, but Fiziev's mix-ups were giving him grief. And obviously Poirier knows the Gaethje game plan is just to leg kick as well now, so he should be used to that. And I just think Poirier's got this one in the bag. He just needs to get the finish out there early, because if not, he doesn't want to be going into elevation territory with someone who trains at elevation, because then we'll have like an Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman 2 kind of scenario, where basically the main event, 5 rounds, one of them gasses completely and the other one's absolutely fine because they're used to it. So so that is my prediction. Dustin Poirier to get this one done. Better boxing in the pocket. Justin doesn't move away from shots enough that I like. And at this point, I just feel like Dustin maybe wants it more. It's hard to tell, but Dustin didn't get knocked down and choked out by Charles Oliveira. I feel like getting dropped like that by Charles Oliveira is not a good look, okay? Because Islam showed that he's kind of sloppy on the feet. I know he just knocked out Benil, but there's levels, and I don't like the look of Charles Oliveira dropping you and subbing you like that. But so anyway, guys, that is my predictions for UFC 291. I will be doing a fight companion for the entire card. I will be live streaming that. It will be my 1,000 subscriber special, so don't miss that. Obviously, that'll be live when the event is. You really don't want to miss it. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Comment down below who have you got in the fights, especially the Jan Blachowicz versus Pereira fight. I'm really intrigued to see who everyone's picking in that one. Join members if you want. There'll be a new video out this week, so you're not going to want to miss that. So thank you members for that. Keep up the support, and thank you guys for watching. See ya.